Mr. Khanna, Atithi Devo Bhava 2.0. What a lovely, lovely thought. I think forever that we all remember in this room and outside as well, the fact has been the world's been looking at Indian hospitality as a benchmark. Today, getting the global standards, everything else into our setup over here is really not a challenge for us, but actually an opportunity to show the world what we are all about. But this also comes with a few other things, right? Tech is coming, digital is coming, AI is coming, sustainability is coming, luxury still stays. Where do you actually benchmark yourself as far as standards are concerned? And I'm sure each one over here, as my fellow panelist, I've got a great bunch over here. Operationally, super excellent on everything, but at some point of time, they all have also thought, can we get this global 3 lines into an India perspective? Happens, does not happen? No? A little bit? All the time? Okay. So we've got some nice set of thought-provoking questions for all my panelists over here. First of all, thank you for joining me here. And the idea today is to kind of just delve into where exactly is the balance between operational excellence, global standards, Indian cultures, and getting the seamless experience for all our guests who walk into our hotels and trust us with the night, with the experience, with the stay, and everything else which comes along with it. So I won't take too much of my clock is ticking over there, and I think the best thing to do is kind of just jump into it straight away. So my first question actually, and I'd love to hear Kanika's thoughts on this. Hilton, global standards, pretty much everywhere benchmarked across. Kanika, how do you look at it with regards to the Indian nuances? How do you balance the Indian hospitality and the global standards in your operations?
Okay, thank you, Vineet. Firstly, thank you, Bhuvnesh. I think you set the bar higher every year. So thank you for having us, and thank you for this wonderful event. Talking about Hilton and global standards, I think a guest understands consistency at Hilton. When they travel with Hilton, they travel, as we say, travel with purpose. They travel to make the world a better place. They also, when they visit any of our hotels, what are they looking for? Whether it's New York, Tokyo, or Amchi, Mumbai, it's about making sure that our norms, our standards are in place. So when you try and balance the worldwide global standards and Indian hospitality, I think one of the first non-negotiables is the benchmark on Hilton standards. So our standards on safety, our standards on guest service, and our standards on technology, they are the baseline. They are the given. Beyond that, how do we know every country in the world has its own rich, diverse culture. Every country brings something really special. And I know as hospitality and travel professionals sitting in this room, we all know travel makes us richer. Richer because of our experience, richer because of what we see, the flavors, the people, the dress, and the beautiful architecture all our beautiful cities across the world have. So like any brand which enters India, we embrace the Indian flair, Indian culture, Indian hospitality, and I think we are richer and stronger because of it. One of the first things that happens, and I believe it happens in most hotel companies, is the Indian way of greeting our guests, whether it's the Aarti Tika, a small, maybe a garland, maybe a tulsi mala, the way it would happen in any Indian home, our Atithi Deva Bhava. What also, how do we embrace Indianness in the brand is our food. It's about adapting to the food, the cultures, whether it is the food, a Jain meal, dal bati churma, an Onam celebration somewhere in the country, whether it's Diwali or Eid. It's about embracing all with the Hilton flair, with curating that entire experience in our own special way. And last but not the least, taking the best what this country has to offer to the rest of the world. So whether it's a food festival in Madrid recently, where some of our chefs flew down, it's about taking the best of India out there. It's also showcasing what is so unique about this beautiful country to our 8,600 hotels worldwide. So I think it's a great mix of global culture, global standards with the Indian flair. And as we grow our hotels, it's also about bringing that architecture to life. A little bit of Indian, the old heritage architecture of Kerala, which is coming alive in one of our hotels soon. It's about the sustainable building, which we are doing in our Hyderabad resort. It's about getting the local art, it's about the fabrics, it's about getting cuisine. More than else, it's sustainable sourcing and community engagement. I think that's what pulls the whole package together. So it's not only standardization, it's about truly embracing what every country in the world has to offer and making our traveler richer because of it.
Fantastic. Lovely. So nice to hear that you pretty much covered the entire country through and through. And you used a very, very nice word called sustainability. Right? And right on that, I'm going to jump on to Atul. Atul, ITC, responsible luxury, right? Sustainability, operations, delivery. How do you balance all of this out to ensure that the guest has a great experience, we still look after the planet? And share some thoughts.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Bhuvnesh, for having us here. Such a wonderful show. And it's like my fellow panelists said, that it's been growing from strength to strength. So nice to see that. And it's always a pleasure to be part of this every year. With regards to sustainability, yes, that's a very, very core to the ITC hotels. And, there was a time 2 decades ago when there was a debate, how does responsibility and the luxury go together? These are two distinct words. But that's become the core principle of ITC hotels, the core strategy of ITC hotels to deliver luxury responsibly. And how do we do that, and how do we integrate into the operations on a daily time? So if you see, ITC hotel as a chain is the largest LEED Platinum certified number of hotels. There's 23 LEED Platinum certified hotels. We got 12 carbon positive hotels, and 9 water positive. And this is where even our consumer, when he's looking at it, they're bringing in the positive footprints into the hotel, and that's where they're choosing ITC hotels to stay with them. In terms of water, I'll go by electricity, water. In terms of water, we've been doing our own water plants where we not only eliminated total one-time plastic use, the first single-use plastic, but also water positivity in terms of our water treatment plants where we treat the entire water, and there is a zero discharge in the sewers. And in terms of electricity, we 50%, more than 50% of electricity is generated through the renewable resources, we be saving around, eliminating 50 million kgs of CO2 per year because of that. So look at the positive footprint which we've been able to do that. So these are the initiatives which ITC hotels have taken, not only in terms of environment, but also the local culture. How do we adopt to the local culture? How do we, if you see our architectural design, our cuisine development, and how do we preserve the rich cuisine and the cultural heritage of India? And that's what all Indian hotel companies are doing it, and we're putting our bit to it. So that's what our contribution to the sustainability, and that's what we're looking forward the world to.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think you're an inspiration for all of us. We all are doing our part, but I think somewhere it's very important that as an industry, we do it even more. It's a great way of displaying what is possible even for our guests. When they see it in our hotels, they understand, they go back, and possibly will replicate this in their personal spaces as well. So just by the lakhs of people who sleep, come dine with us and enjoy, every little touch of ours, I think, adds to the environment, and I think it should be our commitment to continue driving this. So thank you so much on that one. Picking up from there, nothing can be done on paper. My next question, Mr. Datta. First of all, big round of applause for Sharad and his entire team for hosting us here. Fantastic hospitality. The minute you come in, operational excellence cannot happen on paper. It can't happen in a room. It definitely does not happen in a morning meeting. Sharad, you've got hundreds of people working with you. How do you drive this to the last person and make them believe?
Thank you, Vineet. Firstly, Bhuvi, thank you for choosing to do your event, a wonderful event at our hotel. There you are. Thank you, brother. And a warm welcome, and thank you to all the guests in the room and beyond for your presence here. It's truly a privilege to have all of you and host most of you in the hotel. I do hope you're having a good time. I am available through the day if there's any challenges that you may face. I'm right here. But coming back to the question of culture of excellence, you know, as all of us have been GMs and some of are new, some of us are experienced, we all understand that you cannot drive anything in your hotels on your own. It's you and the entire team down to the last person that needs to be engaged and needs to be on the same page to be able to drive it to the way that we want it to be driven. I think the answer really lies in that sentence. One is culture, one is excellence, right? And excellence cannot happen without the base, which is culture. Culture cannot happen overnight. Culture takes a long time to build. There's many, many variables in that. I think if I look at my hotel as an example, we've been operating for over a decade now. And the culture that we built in this hotel has happened over that over the decade that it's been operational, even before that. How the hotel was built, what was the initial culture that was set in terms of how we hired our associates, how we trained them, how we instilled knowledge of operations into them. So it's really transcended over a period of time to build what we have today. And this goes, I think, for every hotel. Hotels that do really well operationally, hotels that have consistently high scores on guest voice and other parameters that we are judged on. It is over a period of time that it's built. It's true, Vineet, I have hundreds of associates on a daily basis that we interact with. But what is it that really drives that? I think for excellence to happen, and this is my personal belief, you simply need to have a deep knowledge of your craft. Not just yourself, the entire team needs to have that. If you don't have the knowledge, you still have the heart, you may get by, but you will not deliver excellence. I firmly believe that, and it's something that we drive through and through the hotel in terms of our trainings, in terms of feedbacks, etc. There are many ways of doing that. So that's one part of it, knowledge of your craft. Then the other part is, how do you feel when you come into the hotel on a daily basis? It's so important, and it's sometimes overlooked as an essence of the entire team. And how do you create that sense in your team that I would love to go to work? I don't want to, I would love to go to work on a daily basis. Here is where the leadership team, led of course by the general manager and flowing down, needs to have that very strong connect with the people, right? A very senior hotelier, I won't take his name, once told me, Sharad, if you really need to succeed as a general manager, you need to know your associates to the T, down to what's the name. If they have a cat and a dog, you should know their names too. And that's the kind of investment that as leaders we need to do with our associates and our teams to be able to instill that feeling of trust, that feeling of confidence, and that feeling that I belong. And when you have those feelings, that's really the base to drive excellence. So for me, product is important, super important, how we look after our hotels in terms of maintenance, upkeep, because that's really what a customer or a guest sees when he comes in. I love it when a customer comes in, walks into the lobby, is met either by myself or my team and says, you know, I really felt good walking into the hotel. That means you've got that piece right. And then post that, you've got to deliver on all the touch points. Knowledge, you need to have associates that are knowledgeable about what they're doing. They need to feel good about what they're doing. You as a leader need to send the benchmark through your trust, through your compassion, through your training, through leading by example. And I think there are many more. I may not have touched on all, but I think these are really at the core of driving a culture of excellence.
Wow, knowledge of your craft, so true. If you know it, you do it well. You'll do it once, you'll do it 1,000 times and just get better at it. Love, lovely word, okay? And how do you make someone feel? So ultimately, Sharad touched all about what? People, emotions. And that's where I'm going to ask Yogendra. People, backbone, we can make beautiful real estates, but unless we don't put a soul into it, it'll be nothing but just brick and mortar, right? How do you ensure motivation, consistency, and delivery through people?
Thanks, Vineet. Good morning, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Mr. Khanna, for a lovely event. Coming back to the question Vineet asked, indeed, people are the core of our business. Talent remains the center focus for all of us. And their motivation, their engagement is extremely critical for success of our business and operations indeed. Now at Radisson, we do quite a few things to keep our team motivated, engaged. But I can pick up some top 3 things which really touch me as a professional, as an individual. One is about creating and fostering a culture of service excellence and empowerment. So in our company, we actually unite everyone through our service philosophy, through our beliefs. Our service motto is every moment matters. So whether it is for guests, whether it is for people, whether it is for our stakeholders, every moment counts. Our Yes I Can service philosophy actually sets the tone for our service excellence in our company. So every individual is empowered to take decisions to go beyond the call of their duty and feel valued as individuals. So that's one of the key important factor which helps engaging and motivating our team. Second important thing is invest in their development and growth. That's very, very critical, and we make continuous efforts to improve the overall learning and development interventions for our people. We also focus on careers. One of our beliefs at Radisson is that we grow talent and talent grows us. So, that reflects our commitment to growth of our people. And we have some fantastic tools, resources available, whether it is Radisson Academy, which basically combines e-learning versus well-designed, well-structured management development programs for our team members. So that's an important piece. Besides that, careers is very, very important for us. And we dedicate a lot of time in developing career development, individual development plans for our team members. In fact, one of the important things I wanted to share with all of us here is that as Radisson, though we focus throughout the year or on our career development activities, but we dedicate full month where we only talk about careers, and we call it Career Month, which is coming in October, wherein we will celebrate and also work upon development initiatives for our people. Just to give an example of how these things are shaping up in our company, for last 3-4 years, if you look at, and we are 135 hotel company in India, almost 60% of our GM requirements we fill internally. So that's the kind of development opportunities we create for our leaders. And third important thing from motivation point of view is recognizing the contribution of team members and listening to them. I think that's an important piece. And at Radisson, we really give a lot of impetus to this. We have formal ways of recognizing our talent, as well as on-the-job, immediate recognition is something we thrive on. We have a formal feedback system as well. We call it Radisson Listens. We do it twice in a year to ensure that we collect feedback and we work on it. So what I personally feel is if you create an open communication and acknowledge the good work done by our colleagues, I think this goes a long way in creating a morale and helping them, align with the organizational objectives. So these are the three things which helps us in motivating. One is culture of service excellence, invest in development, as well as recognize the talent and listen to them.
Wow, lovely. There's lots happening there. So you touched on something very nice, which you mentioned about empowerment. Empowerment also comes with commitment. I think it's just about involving the team, and then of course recognition and celebration. Ultimately, nobody walks into a space to fail, and I think that's very well recognized over here as well. So lovely thoughts. Thank you so much. All right, let's leave the shores not too far, but just a little bit. We have Radhey. He's the chief commercial officer for Cinnamon, and he operates out of Sri Lanka. We hear a lot. I mean, India is diverse, but we always, every now and then, someone comes and says, Sri Lanka does very good hospitality, right? So tell us a little bit more about that, and what you think are your inputs on which can help us and inspire us a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhuvanesh, for having me over from all the way across from Sri Lanka. And thank you, Vineet, for facilitating the session for us. I'm the only commercial voice on the panel here. And usually, so I know we as commercial get blamed for ignoring the operational aspect of the delivery. But here, I'm hoping that I'm able to talk today from the position of how do we bridge that gap between commercial and operations. Sri Lanka and Maldives, that's where we run our 17 hotels and resorts. From a size point of view, we are very heavily reliant on tourism. Actually, our life depends on tourism, and Sri Lanka tourism contributes about anywhere between 8 to 10% of its GDP from tourism. Maldives is even more, so that goes to almost the north side of 20% at times, whereas in India, I believe this is almost 1 to 2% of the GDP from international tourism. So from a scale point of view, it's very different. For us, tourism is the key. Tourism is the national strategy, and when we talk about how we work on marketing our campaigns, I think one thing is very clear, which I'm sure it's applicable in India as well, is anything that is destination-led and destination-driven is where we want to work with our regional tourism representation bodies. And we have seen in the past, I think, some of the most successful campaigns even in India, from Incredible India, which has been, I think, around for decades now and extremely successful. One of the most successful destination tourism campaigns, I think, across for all time is God's Own Country from Kerala Tourism. That's from the 90s. So and there are so many other regional campaigns here, which is extremely popular. For us, when we talk about our company, our brand, it's destination first. That's the approach we always want to take. Sri Lanka has its own unique program, the campaign, which is called So Sri Lanka, and then now it's revamped to You Will Come Back for More. Maldives has Sunny Side of Life. So these campaigns, I think, are really the life of the destination, catches the imagination of the guests that you want to attract. So keeping that spirit of the destination is what we think, what I believe is, to make a really effective and successful marketing campaigns. I would give you another example. We've just opened one of the largest hotels in South Asia, I believe, Cinnamon Life City of Dreams, Sri Lanka, in partnership with an international gaming operator, Melco, which operates casinos across different part of the world under City of Dreams umbrella. So Colombo having such a great product, one of our key needs was to drive more international MICE into the country. And that's also one of the largest meetings and event space that we have in Sri Lanka, not only in Colombo. So when we were looking at from that perspective, we had to look at something that is more international and more collaborative. So we partnered with Sri Lanka Conventions Bureau, which is the national convention body of Sri Lanka, and Sri Lankan Airline, along with Cinnamon Hotels and Resort, to create a program called Sri Lanka Conference Ambassadors Program. So this program basically has about 15 to 20 dignitaries, heads of professional associations in Sri Lanka who are pledging to bid and pitch for new international MICE coming to the country. That was launched sometime in April this year, and we already have bids and the leads which are going for 2027, 28, up to 2029 as well. And I think this is one of the initiatives which really made us believe that it's not only about us, it's how you collaborate with your regional and the tourism bodies to bring new business to the country. If I just go on the other side where I think a lot of my fellow panelists spoke about the challenge of the talent. We have the same. We have a talent drain to different countries and different industries as well, and I'm sure it's the same in here as well. So we have handled this from a two-pronged strategy. One is to develop and build new talent within the country. So that's from the place of a collaboration of Cinnamon Hospitality Academy that came into existence a couple of years ago. But not only it's backed by Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, but also it has a collaboration with EHL and SHMA. These are the two really world-class hospitality management bodies. So that's the collaboration which started about a couple of years ago to ensure that we have a continuous and a sustainable pipeline of talent into the country. So that's one part of it. And the second part of it, and it's very close to here, I see ISH also is a partner here. We also have partnered with them to really develop the middle management level of Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts to really get them the exposure towards the Indian and international hospitality standards, and also to ensure that we have a pipeline not only for the new talent, but also your middle level to the senior level of management. And they get exposure with the tie-ups with Leela Hotels and Resorts as well here. So our first batch had come about a few months ago, had the exposure, and this is going to continue for a sustainable amount of period. I think these are the couple of initiatives. There's a long list. I'm mindful of time. But I think there is a lot of synergy that we can do from a tourism body's point of view, and how as a leading brands of the country and the leading players of the country, we can really ensure that the destination and the brand and the talent is managed well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Great insights there. Just to let everyone know, Cinnamon Hotels also sends their senior leadership into best practice tours. Guess where? To India. They actually come across, they visit our hotels and in different markets to understand on how we operate hotels across different setups, cities, airports, as well as resorts. So there's a lot of cross synergy which happens, and Radhey, great insights. Thank you so much for that. All right, I'm going to come back to you, Kanika. Tech, AI, right? Operations. How does Hilton look at all this today? There's cold data, which is pretty much of what one does in terms of the web space, of the digital space, where they decide where to stay, what to do, and you book. And then there's the warm data, which happens with the cup of coffee or the extra to the hard pillow or whatever else it may be. How does Hilton work on this?
So I think all of us know AI is here to stay. But and Hilton has also had a very tech adaptive approach. As an organization, it's been a first taker for a lot of new technology, whether it's making its own PMS known as PEP or using AI and technology to leverage and improve its business. So when I talk about AI, let me first put this straight. At Hilton, technology is not the star, hospitality is. Technology is an enabler. It is the one which helps us improve performance, improve productivity, enhance work-life balance. It is used in all forums. It is used in all areas, every department. I think all of us are very familiar with revenue management and the tools and how it helps us plan our demand and pricing, etc., etc. But what it also does, it plays backward to tell you the demands there and how to plan your manning. It will tell you when you maximize your housekeeping staff and what the footfalls in the banquet pre-function are going to be and what are the kind of person or people you need there, along with what technology you need there. So it's actually a 360-degree approach as far as technology goes. The predictive nature of AI also helps us plan our guest experience. So it is about knowing that Kanika checks in, she wants a yoga mat in her room, as well as the fact that the Hilton Honors app actually has a connected room program, which helps me plan the air conditioning temperature of the room, as well as the TV channel I want on before I walk in. So that's the enabler bit of building customer preference. It also enables your team to spend more time doing what they should be doing, which is taking care of guests. So while technology is at the play, it's enabling shifts, it's enabling customization, it's enabling personalization. It's also giving the team to spend more time with family. And I think that's something which we keep talking about with talent today, and the work-life balance. So apart from this, we also have something known as a predictive maintenance system, which actually feeds in and sends alarms for equipment which preventive maintenance schedules are lapsed or delayed. Preventing shutdowns, breakdowns, preventing disruption to customer, thereby enabling better guest experience and the consistency of their guest experience across all portals. We work with, we have an award-winning ESG model known as Lightstay. Lightstay is enabling recording of water, energy, as well as waste. But not only does it record, it actually sends you alarms that if you continue at this trend, you're not meeting your targets for the year. It makes you shift gears. It challenges us as leaders to say, what more do we need to do? So there are a lot of technology options out there. There are also partners. In fact, we work with partners, and I think it's a very interesting one which I should share, who are now enabling the gig economy space, who enable you to get manpower at the right busy hours. And these are people who are trained on your software, your systems, your technology. And they are available on an app. So there's a lot happening there. But more than anything else, like I said, technology is here to stay. It's enabling us to do better. It's improving profitability. But it's also enabling a better workforce environment.
Fantastic. So much happening there, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes you have to really stay up at night and Google and say, okay, how do I use this? It's excellent. All right, so we're learning a lot about technology. We're talking about world-class services coming into India. But Atul, I think we can do it the other way around as well. What do you think? Indian standards going global. What are your thoughts about that?
I think the way we have learned so much from around the world, it's time that the world is looking at India. India is a force to reckon with at this point of time. And Indian hospitality is second to none at this point of time. You look at the quality of the talent available, whatever we know we have a talent concern, but we have a very, very young force. And at this point of time, the talent is going around the world and managing hotels. Like somebody said that our GMs are going out of the country and managing those hotels, and we facing that issue. But amount of talent which is available in the country. So obviously we have the young workforce. So that's one thing the world is looking at us, and which we are giving it to the world. Second is our sustainable practices across the country, because this is our need of the hour, to work with the environment, to work with the local communities, to work with the local culture, heritage, and that's what India can give it to the world. And that's what, and plus that's our need, and I'll put that across why that need arises. India has got only 1% of the total global footprints, the total number of global travelers in the world. It gets only 1%, so look at the headroom to grow for us. And that's the only reason why we need to create those opportunities in this country in terms of tourism and developing destinations, in creating more and more new destinations. So that means what happened yesterday in this very program about invest and build infrastructure towards the hospitality, and that's what is needed in this place. The last mile connectivity in terms of what all we can do so that that amount of footprints we need in this country. Third one is our cuisine. If you see India, the cuisine changes every 100 kilometers. There's so much to offer to the world. And I'll give you a live example what we did with our the new brand, Avartan. Avartan, new brand, means 7 years old, and it's created the global benchmark. And we did 2 dinners in France in Champagne. You know, they took us there, and we created that experiences out there. And it was such a matter of pride for India that we doing that cuisine and in that lifestyle statement, and it really worked, and there is a demand for more. And I'm sure all hotel companies, all restaurant, Indian food is going all over the country. So that's something which we can give to the world, where people are looking at us, that this cuisine, and its cuisine is not only Indian. We all know that this is from southern peninsula, this is from the north part of India, there's the east part of India, and which is something which is not even explored by all of us, is the northeast part of India. There's so much cuisine available there. So that's something which we can give to the world, and world is looking at it.
Great, very well said, and that 1% really makes us think, doesn't it? Wonderful. So picking up from what Atul just mentioned, Yogendra, I'm going to come to you now. You're saying all right. So, okay. So, you ready? Okay, good. So, the idea is, where's growth today? Growth's just not in cities. Growth's in every little corner of the country, right? Which means that somewhere we're going to take these global standards, hospitality, to smaller towns, places, destinations, new experiences where there'll be, I would say, 99% India and 1% of what we need to top it up to a phenomenal experience. So for that, what do you need? You need operational pipeline. How do we develop that for the next 5, 7, 10, 15 years?
It's a very important question. Developing operational pipeline and operational leader is extremely critical, considering that the kind of growth we have in India for the next 5 to 10 years. So it's very important, and we need to have this mindset in our forward-looking leadership that they should really think globally but act locally. Right? And there where you need a fine balance between understanding the international standards plus also balancing it out with our own cultural nuances, our customer expectations in the country. So I think what should be done as way forward is, and I have a few thoughts in mind which I would like to share. Probably I'll comment on 3-4 essential things which we need to do at this moment. Is one, we really need to redefine our leadership competencies. We need to have a combination of international competencies and regional nuances to add. For example, sustainability, we spoke about sustainability as one important aspect. Digital influence, international standards. These are the kind of things we need to add in the leadership competencies going forward. Also, it is important to understand the local regional influence. For example, what are the different cuisines we have in India, right? What are the different labor laws we have in India? What are the different expectations customers have in India? So there has to be, an overall redefining of new competencies, which I feel is important. Second important aspect is to have a blended development program for our leaders, wherein there has to be partnership with some international hotel schools as well as a local exposure. I want to give an example of how we do it at Radisson. We have a very good general management development program, and we call it Accelerate. And in Accelerate, what we do, it's a 9 to 10 months program. We have blended both international exposure as well as local exposure. So we have various boot camps which we organize, whether it is in Europe or in Middle East. We organize boot camps for our future leaders to go through and understand the international standards. And also at the same time, we create an exposure for them which is not only at the same hotel or same location, but probably in some other location with some other kind of cultural exposure we want to provide them. So that is something we do. Third important thing is mentorship. I think we have to pick up on and request our senior leaders who have worked in overseas, who worked in international locations to really mentor our local Indian future leaders so that they can really get into this international global mindset with local customization of work environment. So that is the third thing. And the fourth thing which I think is extremely important is the advantage of leveraging the technology. I think that's very important. Today, our leaders need to focus on learning digital tools which are there, the international digital tools which are there. I think that's a huge opportunity, and at the same time, use data to analyze local expectations and local customer behavior. So these are the four things which I feel are very important as we create the future pipeline for operational leaders in the country.
Fantastic, thank you. I think what you mentioned is so relevant. We have a short time and we have to achieve so much. And for that, my request to this, humble request to this room is also, please share your stories, share your experiences, because as much as you read in a book, when someone speaks to you and tells you about their experiences, you draw a lot of inspiration out. I'll just pick one up. This morning, Mr. Kaul mentioned to me about, we were speaking about ballroom heights, and I learned something from him today on how a ballroom height and an experience can be amalgamated, and somewhere in the future, at some point of time, if the design team allows me to give operational inputs, I'm going to give this to them and pick it up from there. So just speaking about design, Radhey, a question for you now, all right? Ultimately, we make amazing hotels, beautiful corridors, fantastic restaurants, and oops, there's a pantry missing, there's a sideboard missing, there's no place for clearance, or the dishwasher's too late, too far. Everyone's laughing about it, right? Everything happens and then we say, okay, the ops will manage it. Yes or no? And we always manage it, of course we do, we are ops. What are your thoughts about that? How do we kind of bridge this and get it slightly more finer for ourselves?
Yeah, and I think it's an industry-wide problem, and I think company-wide where you have those gaps between what we think from a design point of view for a solution versus what happens and how it's executed on the ground by the operations team. And we are no different. We have had those issues and challenges. And I give you a little example from Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts. We did our brand vision, mission and purpose about a few years ago, which is to bring the best of Sri Lanka to the world with style and elegance. And a year down the line, when we speak to the front office person at the hotel or the F&B person, what that means, what it meant to them, and guess what? Nothing. So we always knew without asking at the back of our hand that, yes, we have put it into documentation, it's uploaded on all the portals, but what about the delivery on the ground? And we realized it, but it took time for us to acknowledge that there was a gap till the time we were in person on the ground to really see how the brand purpose, the brand mission is understood by the frontline team members, and how they are delivering the best of guest experiences, and what we say that should be Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts about. So as a solution, we came up with two teams, and these teams are the brand's delivery team and the operational excellence team. These teams have started work, and they are not based at the corporate office, they are based at the properties. So among the 17 properties, Their job is to go from property to property. After defining those operational standards and the brand standards, to deliver it on the ground. So it's not left just at the property level to deliver on those brand standards that we define, but it's delivered by the person who has defined very passionately, the person who is the custodian of the brand itself. So that's one thing we are talking about, I think, big eye-opener for us. And we believe that, you know, this is the way to go forward in terms of how you look at delivering your brands on the property. And one of the other aspects of when we are designing any solutions for our teams, whether it's a new standard, whether it's a new initiative, I think we come from a space, or I would rather say we should come from a space of guest centricity, keeping the guest in the heart of everything that we do. And we try and do this by ensuring that whatever initiatives we are trying to roll out, whether it's a technology initiative, whether it's upgrading our tech stack. By the way, I think as hoteliers, I think we take our time in upgrading our tech stack, which is extremely important because our guests are extremely technology savvy. They are upgrading and utilizing those technologies, the latest technology as we speak. And if we don't keep up with them, we are not able to deliver those experiences which is our guests look forward to when they stay at our resorts and hotels. So from guest centricity point of view, of course, data is extremely important. In hospitality, I think data is something that I have seen in my experience. There are so many versions of truth, and that's something we are also trying to handle and ensuring there is only one version of truth, there is only one profile of a guest and not many, so that you know, that becomes your core of your CRM and how do you map your guest journeys across different touch points. And as we go through those, building those experiences and building those upgrades from a technology point of view, the way it is going to be delivered at the ground, it really depends on what parameters, what objectives, and what goals you are setting towards it. For us, it's all about what is the incrementality in the Net Promoter Score. If any initiative is not adding value from a guest satisfaction point of view or from a commercial point of view or both, then it's not worth doing it. And I also think that it's always good to do an A/B testing in every scenario to ensure that you have all the outcomes possible in front of you before you launch something to the ground. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Oops, but the first bell, right? Okay. Just before we conclude this lovely session, I want my friend Sharad to tell us what are the moments of truth as far as a guest journey is concerned. We can put everything else around, but ultimately it comes down to the last. How does this person feel? Tell us.
I agree. You know, what is a moment of truth? At the end of the day, these are all moments of truth. These are touch points that a guest experiences, leading to what the guest thinks about property or your hotel, and that could the impression could be either positive or it could be not positive. So it's super important. Ever since we've been in hotel school many years ago, we've heard that a guest's journey starts from A point and finishes at Z point, and there are several opportunities for us to, as we used to say and we still say, wow the customer, right? I think today's guest is so well traveled. Today's guest has so many experiences that he or she experiences all across the world, that the basic expectation from, if you want to call it a moment of truth or a touch point, is that you do everything correctly as far as the basics are concerned. So from the process of booking, and a lot of people, to what Kanika alluded, are using AI technology, apps to do their bookings. How seamless is it? How customer friendly is it? Is the right data available? To actually coming onto the property, whether it's an airport experience, your arrival experience, check-in, staying in the room, your dining experience, your experience of Wi-Fi, which is, I think, in the top 3 requirements for our customers today. All these touch points need to be on point every single time. And these today are considered just basics. And we haven't even begun to talk about those wow moments or creating those wow moments which can make a stay exceptional rather than a run-of-the-mill stay which is available all through. I think as a good hotel worth its salt, there are so many steps that one needs to take to ensure that a guest experiences at least a few moments of truth. The opportunities are there. Galore. It's just how we operationally look at it. And I think it all starts with understanding your customer. Every good hotel will have a pre-arrival meeting on a daily basis when you look at least a large segment of your important guests who are coming in. Not that your moments of truth are only limited to your so-called VIPs, but they should be through the hotel. However, these engagements with our associates during these meetings give us the opportunity of identifying past experiences, identifying any challenges that may have happened, and then looking at an opportunity of how to create a great moment for our guests. In the previous question, I had alluded to when we spoke about culture and we spoke about excellence, moments of truth and excellence are tied in together. Unless you have the culture of excellence driving operations in your hotel, you'll find it very difficult to create moments of truth for our customers. So many hotels, and especially ours, we look for those opportunities. One of the great things that we do is when we are engaged with a customer, be it in a restaurant, be it in front office, you look for cues. When you find a queue, and most customers will give you a queue for something, either it's a fact that they want to go and look at a particular destination, they want to see something in this current destination, there's a requirement for a charger, they want to find out about Wi-Fi or for something else. You pick up on those cues and you make a note, and then you ensure that you find an opportunity to create a moment for those customers. This is where the engagement of your associates and your team needs to be very, very strong. And like I said, guests will give you that opportunity. It's how you pick up on that opportunity and then you convert it into action to create those moments of truth. For every hotel that stands out in terms of its reputation from a guest service perspective, these are hotels that deliver very highly on moments of truth. And I'm a firm believer of another quote, that reputation drives revenue, and the guest experience, I think, is the #1 contributor to reputation.
Awesome. I don't think so. I need to summarize anything after what Sharad just mentioned. Thank you so much. So we know we are out of time, but you know, operations is always fun. It's always excitement. So I'm going to ask you all one question. Just give me a one-word answer, maximum 2, at best 3, but no explanations. Is that okay? They weren't expecting this, so it's going to be fun. Housekeeping. So first one for Kanika. Housekeeping or F&B, which department defines the guest experience more?
No favorites. 2 words.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. I'll take that. But no marks. All right. 0 on that. Okay. Atul, front office smile or speed of check-in, what matters most?
Both.
Okay. All right. Sharad, biggest operational nightmare during weddings? He's already rolling his eyes.
Discounts.
Discounts. Okay. 1 point to you on that one. Okay. Yogen, one operational hack that always works.
One operational
Hack that always works. I know it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I'll give you 2 points if you answer this.
I think it's all about, I have to just use two words, right? One operational hack. I'll get back.
I'll get back to you. Okay, fair enough. All right. And Radhey, last one for you. All right. One word the team hears from you most often.
Below ordinary. Below ordinary is not acceptable.
All right, fine. Below ordinary is not acceptable. It's all about excellence. Atiti Devo Bhava 2.0. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. Amazing panel. Thank you.